Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. And the week has ended, or at least mostly has ended, meaning that it's time for the manga reading hour, or going through the stuff I've read this week. Now, again, there are some series I really would want to include, but unfortunately, we still just got the Ross for it, like Miyoko-chan, Unicorn Colosseum, and Stuff Hero. But what can you do, I suppose? What matters now is the stuff that has come out officially, or at least I think it's supposed to be official. Again, also some job stuff. I am unclear on how the release schedule works for them. The rest, but whatever. Time to get into the discussion, I guess, or the reviews. So we'll start this week off the same way we started last week off with Shadow House, chapter 186, titled United Front. Kind of surprised that we got a chapter for Shadow House this week since, it's one like, I think the Shadow House usually releases like 3 chapters a month, so it's kind of odd that we got like back to back. Although I suppose there isn't that big of a gap usually, but still kind of surprised. Anyways, so we will start. So the chapter kind of goes on the plan they were setting up last chapter with everyone kind of uniting, or at least most of the children coming together to do it. And the plan now is essentially continue the whole. It's kind of keep the thing more utilize the kids' powers, suit powers that the kids, the new debutees suit powers, and with that they should be able to get the key and Edward and get save Lou and all that. Since the kind of problem was the time because they had to keep the kids in the dark. But now since everyone's aware, they can tell what they have to do when they get to the location for the normal procedures, and there won't be any issue because everyone's on the aware side in this like brief time period that they can use. And they use Ram's is I guess I don't know, man. I'm not. I think she. I mean, I'm guessing that she probably was going around. Like, I don't know if it was there if Ram also does chores and all that stuff for the adults wing, or if she just stays in the children's wing. Like, I'm kind of assuming that they. I mean, I'm not entirely certain of how they separate those stuff, but regardless, maybe she just has a very good memory when it comes to this type of stuff. So she makes a map for everyone's location, and they use that for everyone to get into their positions. With Douglas even being impressed at how good this living doll is for that stuff. As Douglas moves on to Edward's location, as he first waits a bit for Edward to stop his playing. Basically, like, I better not. Well, I may not be a big fan of doing this. I do feel like I should definitely not jeopardize it by doing something stupid like interrupting him. So he decides to just wait those few minutes for Edward to stop playing his piano because that's how usually Edward gets his frustrations out. And now we get I guess this is another confirmation to my theory that the third floor residents kind of overplay their sadistic personalities in front of their subordinates. Because Edward right now, as he's playing, he's not like he's thinking about everything they say. He's not even considering the possibility of them, you know, thinking to themselves what would be the best course of strategy or analyzing the situation or anything. Like he's just like, they are just lazy. They don't want to accept it. I will do. They are just destroying the Shadow House and all that stuff. Because he's like he actively mentioned Joseph, and he makes it sound like he doesn't even think Joseph would plan anything. Even though, like, all the guys were like, okay, you overplayed your hand here, Edward. Like, they didn't say it, but it's kind of clear that he overplayed his hand, and Joseph was like, go away. So, yeah, he doesn't at all think they are analyzing or trying to do their own thing, which, to be fair, it's not like they are actively trying to do much. But, they were more, like, calm about it. Like, alright, how much of an effect there will be? We do have to do punishments, but how much of an effect? So Edward's completely frustrated and all that. So when Edward stops playing the piano, that's where Douglas enters, and he, is not being entirely the most respectful, but he still acts respectful. Like, oh, hello, Master Edward. I see you've worked up quite a sweat playing. Come, let me help. Let me help you get the jacket off so you can I guess it would be cool yourself off from it, as he uses that opportunity to make the fake key. as Edward, weirdly enough, I'm not sure if he can tell that something's up with this, or maybe he predicted this or something. But I was like, I will make you some coffee, or was it tea? I think it was probably coffee. As so, just sit on a sofa. It's fine. So Douglas makes the key, and Edward, after he comes back, and Douglas informs them that he's making the key and all that. Edward tells again, not that this is Edward predicting it, or if this is Edward just assuming it, but Edward tells Douglas that, but basically all of the information that he told the third floor shadows about the Kate, Emilico, and Candy being infiltrators they were not supposed to be, and all that, and that immediately works on Douglas or activates the Living Doll's shadow, as then Douglas immediately like destroys it. Not just that he immediately will reveal what happened with Kate's plan and all that, or Emilico's plan is what they believe. Again, it's kind of like that's why we cut away from this focusing on Douglas, where he just immediately takes away the thing, and then we have the children panicking. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do now? As Candy just takes the charge and says the plan to continue the plan, because there's a bit of a limit on the children. It's like one of the children, I think her name is as the one who didn't participate in the challenges with the star bearers. That was just kind of like was searching and collecting stamps in the labyrinth. That one has a very weakened in terms of her suit power is a lot weaker, so she has a limit to how much she can use it. And according to Scan, the key could already be there, so to grab it. How much is true is questioned, but we'll find out, and that's where we kind of end the chapter. Again, it's not. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect. Honestly, kind of how much content there was in this chapter between the plan being fully explained, uh, Douglas and Edward's kind of conversation and all that, but and the operations still continuing. But it's a fun chapter, and I do have to wonder where this is going because if Douglas is convinced now the Kate's an enemy, he will definitely spill the beans. Like, oh, by the way, Kate made this plan to save Louis and Lou. This part of the plan was I'll stop that because I'll just deactivate my suit power so it's not gonna work and all that. Like, I feel like that would kind of give. I don't know. Maybe I would probably be concerned about Douglas more if he reveals that part, but I don't know. I feel like even if Douglas just comes clean with anything, I feel like Edward would kind of be like, fine, like a bit concerning, but fine. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Anyways, then we have Shy chapter 115. Honestly, I wonder if we're not just going to have regular week by week for Shy. Maybe a bit later in the week, but I feel like they would usually be week by week. Probably, yeah. Although to be fair, they'll probably force the writers too much, so there'll probably be breaks in between. But regardless, we have Shy chapter 115, titled Entrenched of the Extraordinary Baby. I'm guessing this is supposed to be referring to Taro and not Shine, but it's kind of both, honestly. Anyways, we start this chapter off with a bit of a well again we continue the flashback where we have kind of a little joke with where Shrimp when he first meets Shine and he's like I'll put the bracelets on you and all that as he wants to put the bracelets on her for control power, but Shine being a child is more focused on the him looking like a shrimp and she was like, oh, shrimps are tasty, and then he kind of like just responds, please do not eat me, which is probably because of her safety and his safety. But unfortunately for him, she just not. Puts a fist in front of him. Well, does this and it blasts through everything, and that's the build. They are in, that Nirvana and the Shy entered, and that's where Shinpei explains everything. Then we go further back to with Shrimpy and Unilord, where they're like going over the situation in Japan. They're like, I forget the Japan's previous name, but it's like one of those very traditional Japanese types of names. And like he didn't respond. Should we send backup? And because there was this chaos with his child. As then he shows up immediately. I guess his communication was broken, something. As he is having a shine in his arms, where she's just a little child. Like, do you think that the hero of Japan, will not be able to deal with a child? Because like he's like literally holding her her like a child, that scene, as he's also all beaten up. He's like this kind of like, it kind of reminds me of Shredder in a Ninja Yu-Gi-Oh card. I don't know, some kind of fusion of that. That's kind of the design from the previous Japan hero, which makes sense. Like, we have to remember that both Shine and Taro are very young, all things considered, so there being someone before them isn't that unlikely. I'm not entirely sure how many generations are there. I imagine it's like not big. I mean, there's that German hero who's like, I think, an old man, so I would not be surprised if he's like one of the oldest and one of the first generations. It's probably somewhere in between. I would be surprised if it's literally the first generations, and then it's the the, I guess, older the middle-aged generation characters like Shine, Spirit, and Stardust and all those, but it's like the newer generation that's like barely young, could be back so younger than the previous generation, like Lady Black, Shine, all those. But yeah, we have those guys. We find out that Shine, because of her power, she ran away from her family or was taken from her family, or it's like just she wasn't with her family. There's a bit of a confusion if she was an orphan or not because of us not seeing her parents or anything, and then again not being directly mentioned. So it's like one of those. Okay, are the parents in the picture or not picture? Or, how away are we supposed to be taking them? As it's just revealed that she was like, just alone and cutting off chaos. Because now she was a freakishly powerful child. Like, those are just recipes for destruction and chaos. Just look at My Hero Academia for crying out loud. But yeah, they can't really contain her power because she's extremely powerful. But in so exchange, the Japanese hero wants no, he gives Shine his bracelets, the power bracelets, so she can use and be a hero and make people smile and all that. The encouraging good person that's gonna die in the flashback type of character speech to be an encouragement for Shine. As then Shrimpy informs us that, oh yeah, that thing about him, because he says that be a hero that will smile so bright that I will see it as well. That whole thing he had, that speech, that couldn't work because the Japanese hero was actually very quick to death. Like, I think it was next year or 2 years after that, he died from illness. I think it was I do believe they actually gave the name of that illness, but he died because of it. He probably knew that he was gonna die soon, so that's why he kind of gave it to Shine. Not to be a hero itself, but more like you will be his successor type of deal, which I guess would just mean Japan would be without a hero for a while. But regardless, a couple of years, I feel like it would. But well, until Shine became more proper age. But it seems that but Shine didn't want to wait for it. Like, she was a patient child, so she wanted to go into hero activities as soon as possible, and because she was extremely powerful, she could do it. So instead, so what they did was kind of a compromise where Shrimpy was more in charge. Like, he was with her constantly, like, all right, Shine, the problem here, this person over there is gonna be about to be crushed. Grab him by the collar of his jacket and pull him up so he doesn't get crushed. This car is about to crash into this car. Please go below this car and fly it away. And we get like small scenes, and we also get an explanation of why, despite being so very young, she wasn't really famous or known to Nirvana and all that. And that's because the way how she rescued anyone, the way how she operated was very robotic in a sense. Like, you see like a guy that she's holding by the collar of his jacket. He's looking at her and be like, is this a flying robot child? This is a person, right? Because during the whole thing, Shine just has like, alright, where is the safe place to put the civilian down at? Hmm. Basically, it was no one thanks a robot. It's kind of like a thing when in the dystopian future or sci-fi series where like how much freedom and how much you should treat the mechanical androids and all those fit equally. It's kind of like this with Shine, where no one really. I mean, she's full flesh human, from what we know of. Or, I mean, she may not be ordinary, but she is a human by all stretch of the means. But no one kind of knew how to respond to it. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, but it's kind of more like one of those things like. It's kind of like if you find something, like it's kind of like a UFO type of deal situation. Like, yeah, it might be some interesting, neat, but it's not like you're actually going to go start cheering it if you see it. Like, it's probably gonna be like some kind of something. It's probably gonna be like somewhat trending on when it first shows up, and then it's gonna be like, all right, I guess someone saw a UFO again. So yeah, that's how Shine kind of lived for a while until Terror was born. Terror was born, where she was the first time where she actually had a smile. Which is again, like, this is another one of those panels which kind of is reason why people I think are a bit confused, because we see Shine holding baby Terror as there's the baby straw with her, and she's smiling at it. As in that moment when she's smiling over Terror's being with her little sister, there's also a shadow behind her, and that's gonna be stigma, and that's also gonna be what we're gonna be focusing on in the next chapter for Shine. Because again, like almost 100 raw chapters we are currently, but whatever. Like, I think we're 99 chapters ahead of English translation manga exactly. So yeah, and that's we're gonna get more Shine, Stigma, more direct, and exactly what they are. Because again, like, Shine and Stigma are really different people when you look at them from every single aspect. Like, it's like one of those things where Stigma is some like evil 50 something, well, 15 years old something teenager in going for an emo phase. Like, Stigma is looks to be about as old as the other American members, with some kind of haircut, with this with a male appearance and all that. So couple of weird things. I guess hopefully we gotta get more in details on that thing next chapter. But yeah, that's it for this chapter of Shy. Then we get a simple slice of life series that it's time for Torture Princess, Torture 121, and this is like one of those chapters like the previous one where I have to question why they are called tortures, because it's not like this is a torture. It's just Yuki waking up early, having one of those days, and then I'm thinking that he can go do something else, go for a walk, go to an early open bakery to take us some sugar and stuff like that. But yeah, unfortunately, he does a lot of these activities that you do usually when you're fully awake. So he's kind of getting sleepy right before he has to go to work. But he starts actually. Is Yuki a girl or a boy? I think I'm forgetting right now. Whatever. But he didn't fix that. Oh, he can probably like sleep. Like having like I can probably sleep now. Between the time where I would usually spend time getting ready for work, so that should be like fine. I'll just also set myself up in a way that will make guarantee my waking being on a cold floor, as well as a timer. I would personally question why don't you just personally I have to question why your brother or sister didn't just wake you up, but whatever. He does that, but unfortunately he still falls asleep just as well and wakes up, I believe, 5 hours later than he was originally supposed to. So yeah, there's a bit of a, again, slice of life, nothing much to happen. Anyways, then we get to the best series the greatest series in existence. 100 Girlfriends That Really, 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 Really Love You, chapter 167, titled Everyone Was a Baby at Some Point, returns. We've done it once, we done it twice, and now we're doing it three. And the funniest part is, it's actually mentioning there is actually a fourth wall breaking joke where Kara's like, I can't believe we made this a regular thing. Because again, like, it's literally a bunch of girlfriends being turned to babies. Like, they're so used to at this point that craziness that the captors are actively, all right, everyone who wasn't turned into a baby, please line up so we can turn you all to babies. And no one questions it. That's how on the roll they are. Which, to be fair, the selection of girlfriends, I feel like is more type of selection that would just go along with it. Like, Kiki would not question it. She would be, oh, this is abnormal! Momohama is too drunk to question it. May is one of the maids for crying out loud. Um, all the, I guess, younger ones are also not really the most active. Like, the rest are more proper behavior type of girls. Irie, I feel like, Irie is also, I don't think she would be exactly scared of being turned into a baby. I mean, she pretends to be a cat for crying out loud. And Tama is a cat. So, yeah, I don't think there's that much of a real questioning on it. And yeah, yeah, that's they get to show 'em. And it's just a bunch of cute scenes. The only ones that are really noticeable is Akko because she, when you have we like kind of animal themed baby pajamas, she crawls to Karine and is like cute. And Karine has a normal reaction this time, unlike she had with Hakari. She's like, so cute as well. Or she's like going all daring and she's like hugging her, being like very, cuddling with her. I mean, I kind of expected as soon as I found out there's gonna be a baby chapter that Karine is gonna have some kind of like mommy kind of reaction to Akko. Like, honestly, I was kind of expecting a Karine and Hakari mother dot wife husband wife kind of scene with Akko, like similar to how May actually had later, where she sees May and she's like, sister! And she kind of runs to her, but she trips because she's a baby now and she's running and she's clumsy. So both Renta and May kind of come to her, and then she has like that Otomo game kind of scenario, and they're kind of getting blushing, and she even gets steam off of her hair, and then we have May and Renta kind of comforting her like parents. So yeah, and we also have a little joke about them drinking milk, and then we see like the newest girlfriend drinking it more excitedly as the I think Rain was the one that says multivarianto. I don't know, it's kind of difficult keeping track of everyone's names. My apologies. Drinking like more normal, like small, but then more is drinking from the bottle. Luckily, it's empty, but then they need to satisfy her because when they take away the bottle, she is all Beyblading all over the place. Luckily for her, Momora operates on the boop logic, so she'll be tempted by the milk from boops. And there's even like a little joke about Hakari and Momora being like the most perverted two because Momora starts drinking from Hakari's boobs. She's like, oh, I should have expected Momora to have an interesting technique. Since remember, in the first baby chapter, Kurumi and Kain both were sucking off Hakage's boobs, so this time Momora does it. I wonder if she also inherited that weird chewing mouth as Kurumi and Hakage did. Anyways, then we have also a little chapter where Tama crawls to walks towards Hari and I'm used like a cat, which I'm kind of disappointed with Tama's design as a baby. Libby, I don't know why. It just feels like her appearance should have been even more like a little kitten, like literal, like maybe not straight up kitten in terms of design, but more of a cat-like appearance because of how cat-like she already looks like as a human, like being, I think, the smallest girlfriend amongst them, or at least very likely to be the smallest girlfriend. Her face is generally very cat-like expression. Like even her fake ears and tail are quite realistic cat-like tails. I mean, it's anime, that's the reason why, but it's still kind of weird. But we actually do see that white cat that lives on the rooftop as well, but we don't get any kind of that cat confusing Tom with her child or something. Maybe that's the reason why I'm kind of surprised, but regardless, she goes towards her high, and her high is like, oh, there's a baby want milk, as she does the shtick, and it's so effective that even Kurumi is kind of starting to get hungry for Hahai's milk. So yeah, I kind of wish we had like a little joke with Kurumi's like, hey, Cursor, do you by any chance have any more of that baby formula? Just to, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be an extra chapter, some type of thing. Like I could totally see like Kurumi trying to transform herself into a baby, so she will not feel guilty of doing that. But Hahai, which I think she did this at least twice with Hahai now. But yeah. Then, anyways, as it happened in the previous girlfriend chapter, we have one getting scared and everyone else gets scared and they want their mommy. As Hai tries to comfort Tama, she's like, "Oh, don't worry, Tama. As they say, it's a baby's job to cry." As then Tama merely strikes like, "No, I will not cry. It's work, so I will not do work." So yeah, it's a character for Dama. Like she didn't want to cry because she didn't want to work, so she pretended to be a cat. She decided to become a cat. So now she's also doing work like crying. Is no, I'm not doing that. Also, it's a little funny scene with Kiki and Uta both sing as babies. As Uta just has like wow wow wow, while Kiki has a proper like. I mean, it's a baby, so it's not properly singing, but it's like a lot more of you can kind of see potential in her being a songstress even as a baby kind of deal. But yeah, anyways, they all start crying at the end, and Renta was like, "Oh, I prepared this. I spent all this time preparing for this because that's literally the level." And then he basically goes like and Renta basically conjures into a that I guess stereotypical model kind of appearance with the hair and the apron and everything, as all the babies are looking at, as we didn't have like all the girls looking at Enter, all the babies looking at Renta in pity, but he's like, oh, that's so abnormal, which is in character. Again, these girlfriends are kind of more like, more down to earth than the previous one, so that's the reason why they have more of a normal reaction outside of Kiki. And they were gonna go pity him, and again, it did not work. It did not work. And I believe we had 10 girlfriends or so this chapter, so let's wait until the next 10 girlfriends come out and we get the next ones. Baby chapter. Which apparently there is, after the break this week, there is going to be a new chapter with a new girlfriend. I think something from Falling from the Sky, so I guess we may got our goddess girlfriend at this point. Or maybe a girlfriend that just wants to jump out of everything or something. I don't really know. The sky is the limit with the 100 girlfriends, honestly. Even that's not. The space is the limit. If even that. No, the space is 1/10 of what the limit is for 100 girlfriends. 100 actually. Not even 1/10. 100. So yeah. Anyways, then we have My Academia chapter 415, rejection. As it's the chapter that I confused a lot. I kind of combined the two last week with chapter 414, but this is also the chapter where all that happens, like the flashbacks and all that, and seeing the characters, and yeah, we don't get much more involved into that specific about the actual psyche, but we do get like a little hint at getting more involved as we see like them eventually getting so close to Tanko's memories, where they see the time where like Off One took him in and holding his hand, and again, people use the picture of the guy who was bringing Tanko back to their parents type of scene, and I can't, again resembling All for One. I'm also kind of surprised that hasn't been confirmed or denied yet, because I feel like that's a thing that would have been, but who knows? Maybe it's gonna be confirmed when this chapter gets a volume release. But regardless, we will see on that side of things. Again, I mean, also remember, All for One does just like wearing suits, so it's kind of difficult to say what is just another generic man wearing a suit and what's actually All for One. I don't think the anime actually include any kind of like any more detailed if that is All for One or not. So yeah. Anyways, also Anne gets punched through to Tenko as all the others are, which is kind of true, which makes sense. Again, he said he was the most useless member, and Izuku proved that he is not the most useless member. All of you are necessary, even if you, of course, aren't used as the way as tended to. As then we have preparations for another attack and getting another blow through. No, and I don't think that it's confirmed because Shiaki has like those multiple limbs, so could that work? No, we get it proved here that they do not work. It's kind of like punching that's they compare those extra limbs to like extra materials, like it's kind of like fingernails or that kind of stuff like that. Things that they're meant to be taken removed, so they do not work. But still, if they go through it enough, they should be able to send everyone there, and that's gonna bring Eri. As then we cut away from this for a bit. We don't focus on some other fights like that Sarov building thing, if you even call that anything important, significant, or that Aizawa Pazamak versus Kurgi. We don't focus on that. Like we don't even focus on that spinner if what's his status. We focus instead on the UA falling down. Now everyone can be taken away. Like all the ones who were doing the coffin operation are kind of being helped out with the gentle criminal telling if that he will assist the Cementos and so on. Inform if everyone cannot move as gentle criminal goes into their facility to help, since he's probably like the best when it comes to the stuff like that. As then we have someone screaming. Also, if anyone is not helping right now, then shame on you. As some of the film recording students are like filming, as like I am still filming here. As he looks at something and it's like some kind of chaos. As we see like a bunch of, I believe it was like just a bunch of arms of Shiraki again creating, which I mean from this distance and all that. That the fact that you're able to see from that distance is actually kind of impressive. What how big and of size is. Remember, even helicopters who probably saw their trajectory, who definitely saw where they were going, probably still have to like go there, and they still are like getting very cool visuals of their hands and everything kind of emerging to go into a fight. As then we cut back to the safety centers where the civilians are, who are out of the danger zone, as there's just being like reactable. Oh my god, what is that? As then we have ectoplasm. I'm guessing it's not the no ectoplasm. I think that is his name. Isn't ectoplasm? The guy who has no arms but has like. Wait, does he have no? Wait, does ectoplasm have no arms and no legs, or is he just like he does have arms? He just keeps them covered, and he has like prosthetic legs for combat because he lost his actual. I don't know. I think it is mentioned in one of the volumes, but I will look for it later. But anyways, Ectoplasm, I'm assuming one of his copies, since he can, I believe, copy how many ever he wants. I could totally see there being like extra copies of him in all those facilities, just so they do not have to, so as many normal heroes can participate as possible, because you have to keep them safe and all. As he sees that Air is going somewhere, as Air is moving, so yeah, Erie's going, which I don't really know how she can reach that place because again, like I mean, to be, a lot of people kind of wondered. I mean, I definitely thought of Erie using her rewind on the legal villains to turn them all into children and babies. So that's how to resolve them. Like this is gonna be like one of those. We gotta give them our new start, and this time they'll be raised properly, and this time they will not use previous information to screw them up. It's kind of like Pride in Full Metal Alchemist kind of deal, where they'll be, getting a second chance at life type of situation, and yeah, we'll see that. But I'm kind of not sure how A will get this there so quickly, since no speedster I believe is there. Like even if Ectoplasm agrees that they should go and help, I don't think she can really, get there that quickly unless if like again, I'm not remembering. I mean, no, I cannot remember the geography of My Academia, as well as the other ones. Like I don't know what this distance is, but regardless, Eri is apparently going there, and we'll see if that how this will come back into play. Kind of wish the girl would come earlier, since a few other League of Villains members are currently either potatoes or that, but whatever makes you happy, lady. Eri, whatever makes you relevant. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter, and then we have. Also, I think marketing has a break this week, but I'm not entirely certain. Maybe it's just gonna be again. The leakers apparently got arrested and all that, so we'll see on that front. But anyways, then we have Four Knights of the Apocalypse, chapter 140, the title "The Shape of Truth." So yeah, we're kind of revealing a lot of this stuff quite quickly and explaining as well. Like, I mean, this is quite. I'm kind of surprised at how much things were revealed in this chapter and how quickly. So yeah, we start first by getting some fairy realm lore, like finding out the fact that apparently in the fairy realm, you are not actually humans are not able to survive normally. Like it's not one of those active poison or trying to kill or like something of those sorts. It's like if a human will live in a fairy realm for long, they will go weak and get diseases, and they need to take like um extra medicine to like keep themselves from extra like to keep themselves recovering so they do not die, or I'm assuming die. I think it's just like natural health thing. Like if you're just like constantly, I think that would be enough for even if you're not afraid of die. I feel like doing that for long periods of time would itself be a bad thing, and I do think you do feel pain and all that stuff. But because again, the Imperium is not made for humans to survive in, so their air and everything is not a good for them. And again, kind of confirming what's gonna be relevant with Nauseons. And yeah, we also get some descriptions of the places, like the fact that it's so the sky is green because there's like a plant so huge that it covers everything and all that. Again, I'm not saying how much of this is like new information, how much is like old information, but regardless, that's what's going on here. As then we find out some information about the King of the Ants kids. Like, I mean, I think we can all kind of wager that we're gonna get a chapter like this. We're gonna find out more about the kids. Anyways, we find out that the second kid. Again, I should probably wrote their names down as well, but my apologies, I forgot. But regardless, the second kid. The theory tells us it is very much like King was in the beginning of the stories, with like no wings, and I think also no ear. Actually, I think he does have spiky ears, but he has no wings, even though he's a mostly a fairy. Then the second, no, the third kid has wings and all, and he's kind of like honestly, I thought he was like one of the older ones. Look at him, but he doesn't have pointy ears. Then we found out the two giant daughters, the one who looks like Mini Diane and the other one who looks a bit more mature, who are actually the fourth and the fifth, which I'm kind of surprised because the two of them look the oldest to me. I mean, again, this is anime, so we shouldn't use appearance on characters' ages to assume where they are ranked. But I thought the two just kind of looked very old, just looked like the oldest. But I guess they're not. They are more in the middle, which is again kind of odd because, like, I mean, I do believe giants age slower than king. If I remember correctly, giants in some instance age slower than fairies. So it's kind of weird how these two look as mature as they are, especially as I believe they should only be like 16, 15, 18. Like, I mean, I'm not thought. I mean, I think it's supposed to be 16, 18 type of age period. So it's kind of weird how they are. But it also tells us that they are half the size of a normal giant. Like we even get like a comparison. Like those two are like we see them kind of like in different areas. Like we have the two fairy brothers being in some kind of fairy areas. Then we have like the two sisters kind of walking around where the giants are. As we see like a thing where like one average human giant is like double the size of those two. And those two sisters are even like a bit angry about like I can't believe we're half the size of these giants and everything. Which, like, to be fair, if you two are only 16, you two might just grow into it. Like again, like growth spurts are a thing, and I feel like you giants, if you age slow, you might have, you know, bigger ones at a time period. It's kind of like in One Piece where Lin Lin, I believe, was the size of a normal giant when she was a child, but then when she fully grows, she was just below that size. Like I think she was 8 something, while the smallest giants are 12 something. So it's kind of like, so I don't know. Maybe you two are just gonna grow into it. I mean, the same goes for the guy with no wings. Maybe he will grow. But, like maybe there is no wings at all. Like King, I believe, did have like tiny ones, so maybe he doesn't have anything at all. But I don't know. Then we also find out that the sixth daughter and the second youngest, I would say, since Joe speaks about them, the older and the old, my second oldest, my third oldest. This confirms that Tio is the youngest, which makes me kind of wonder how she's the youngest because the shot we get of her in this chapter is very you know how Nakaba is suspected of being a because of the lollies in his anime. I don't think he helps himself by having the youngest daughter, the one who's most likely under the age of legality in some sense, or maybe just or the same level of legality as Anne was in those characters were in before the time skip. I don't know if that character being naked for the entire thing it really makes sense. So yeah. We explain that one actually is not unknown if she's the brother or sister yet, which to me she just looked like a very young tomboy. Like she just to me looked like the youngest daughter that's a bit of tomboyish. But we find out she hasn't actually decided. Like she'll decide her gender based on who she's into. Like if she's into man, she'll be a girl. If she's into women, she'll be a man because apparently in fairy realm, and we find this chapter that fairies is not actually unnatural for their genders to switch, which is the reason why Nauseons, someone's been kind of skeptical about what gender he is for a long time, is revealed in this chapter to be not a man nor a woman because his upper half of body is kind of like a normal male, but then below his body it's girl, it's full female. Like there's no dick at all. It's kind of like Donnie was probably shocked, like, wait a minute, your upper half is all male, but the other half is female and all that type of stuff. So that's the reason. It's not unnatural for fairies to change their gender some point in life, which yeah, I kind of see it. Like a lot of males in science do look very, I guess, ambiguous, or you can say both. Like Gloxemia, if Gloxemia wore a normal shirt, if he wasn't shirtless constantly, I think you could probably have said we would debate what gender he was if it wasn't very clear. So in this case, we have a confirmed fairies and Nauseons because he's also part of the fairy clan. Basically whatever they decide. And in this case, while I don't think giants can do this, I believe that the sixth daughter is the special case amongst giants because again she is very fucking big, very fucking big. She that is it's more because of her fairy DNA that makes her able to switch. So basically, it's like who I want to fuck with in the end of the day, which makes more sense if you ask me. But well, I mean, that's kind of raise the question about the real one, that type of stuff, like how effective it is. But regardless, we find out the reason why Nauseam is the way he is because one, he didn't know until this chapter that he was a fairy clan, and it's pretty clear that he's a fairy clan member, and especially in the which bloodline he's from, as he also, he's kind of both. So Nauseam's kind of a mess of things. So I'm assuming that he'll probably decide is either if he gets along with not like I don't know how if this is gonna be like an end of chapter arc thing where he's gonna fully embrace one gender or anything, or this is gonna be a saga thing, or we'll see one how this is gonna go. Maybe it's just gonna be like one of those an interesting like little lore bit, and then we're gonna forget about it and just it doesn't matter because again, it does not matter. But regardless, yeah, it's just some interesting little lore and probably to make the fairies a bit more unique as a species instead of just like humans, but with butterfly wings and generally smaller frames. But yeah, anyways, after uh, after we finish with that type of situation, we call back to Motre, who is dealing with the changeling thing, as we don't see what happened. The actual we don't see anything that happened or how the whole interaction went, but it's kind of implied that Motre came to the human village and the process and the whole thing was solved relatively quickly. I imagine it was like one of those things where everyone was like, "Ah, our baby was swapped with a fairy." The fairies do this, they must have done. We've heard about that, and then Major Mir was like, wait, I caught the stupid idiot who caused this mess. Here's your proper baby, and we'll just now return me the fairy baby because the parents are really gonna be as worried as that panicky as you are right now. Basically, it was kind of a quick. Maybe I would imagine the merchant can also probably like say, maybe I imagine that merchant might have also been given kind of a. This is Captain speculating. But I wouldn't be surprised if merchant, in case if there is a changeling issue, because it does seem like there was a changeling problem quite a few times in the Fairy King. We'll get into it shortly. So it does make kind of wonder if Meliodas kind of gave Mentra a certain rank because of how no problems kind of he was after this. Like, oh, like I could always say, like Meliodas being like, oh, you have a changing issue? Here, give Mertre this badge to show him as a high-ranking holy knight type of situation. So when it's retrieving and all, so the process in the human villages, if they're ever changing things, just resolve it by showing this. I'm a high-ranking holy knight. I'm here. We've got news. So we got information from the Fairy King Forest that there was a changeling issue, and we came to fix it. So we have him we have him holding the guy who was responsible for the changing thing, and the baby as well, being like, "Thank God there was no issue." As he looks at the little baby, he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy." Uh, Pointy ears and wings. He doesn't mention wings, but pointy ears. Like, there's no debate that you're definitely a fairy. So again, I do gotta feel like there probably was some reaction, but it was like one of those very quickly like this issue was solved before it could even become a bigger issue than it already was. As then we get a bit of a backstory on Melchers, we find out that because of his very obvious non-resemblance to King Indian and lack of any fairy or giant traits, he was kind of like, oh, is he really King Dian and King of the Fairies' son? He doesn't have anything. And that kind of made him very upset when he was a child. And also, it's kind of like the reason why he was training himself to be like so much of a warrior. Like, why the reason he's the only one who actually is like, ready as a knight type of situation. As then, when he was still a child, King gave him those pills that we found out this chapter about how you cannot survive without. As then, he takes and deals with, and to get better and all that, like the ones we've also seen last chapter. So this guy confirms that he's human, or that this was a changeling issue, because the imagining the changelings, that this seeing this, and as well as the end of the chapter, and that how no one kind of believed that he was a son, and they all kind of like, oh, it was a changeling issue here, because which honestly, if there was okay, it's not 100% confirmed. Like we haven't seen, like Diana and King haven't said strictly with their mouth. It's just pretty much confirmed this chapter, honestly. Like we're gonna have to wait. I feel like it's not gonna be one of those mysteries that's gonna be insanely hard to get. But regardless, Les King and but regardless, he is very pissed at this. And now, while King and Diane are definitely the type of captains that would love you unconditionally, like they're not gonna blame Mercury. They're not gonna be upset with Mercury. They're not gonna be, resentful because Mercury has nothing to do with this. Like it's not his fault that changelings took him and swapped him with their actual son. Because again, I would imagine even if there was an issue, like if let's say some humans were attacking a fairy forest, and then King and Diane, or either one of the two, failed to get to there to. I'm just talking about those outside fairy realm fairy forests, coming there and failed to save it. Even if they found a human baby there, they would not to like be upset and because they arrived to and everyone died and everyone thinking like that. They will not be upset at human baby, and take vengeance for failing to save the people. They will probably be like, was there a genetic issue? Is that the reason why? Like they would still take it in, they would still raise it. I don't like maybe not they themselves, but I would not be surprised if they would be immediately take it to Melios, be like, in a forest that was just destroyed, we failed to arrive, but we found this baby. Can you please put it to an orphanage or something? Like I don't think like adopted or given to orphanage. Like I don't see those two making a big, you know, making any kind of having a hard time with that type of stuff. Like, and again, even he's kind of aware. Like, I'm not upset about your love towards me. It's just what would happen if this actual son showed up, and as soon as Nazan showed up and introduced himself, Metro immediately was like, "He looks like them." He didn't say anything, but he clicked it to place. Like if we theorize that Diane and King know who Nazians is, their actual firstborn son, Matre is just as smart as those two, and was able to click it in the first place. Which we find in this chapter that he's actually their oldest brother, which I guess makes sense. Which also, oh, this is a kind of funny thing. Anything I do like in fantasy stories like this is when while elves may be the longest living, if they're anywhere around the same type of age period as the other races, like like the dwarves or giants, they would still not, and there's like still a gap of age. The fact that those two would still be more immature than the other race that's very long but not as long as elves. Like a land of Liado has like this thing with first and the second daughter are both elves, but they are very immature, very childish. While the third son is a lot more mature. A lot more. Not only does he look like very old, like he's the oldest, but he's also very mature when it comes to behavior. Like he's not the other two. He essentially is the reasonable one. He's basically mom's favorite in a way. So it's kind of like a this type of situation where Melcher may be a human, he will not live as long as the other ones, but he also makes him a lot smarter and being able to click stuff a lot faster because the other ones don't seem to be at all thinking that the Nazians is their long lost brother. Like even Theodore here just guessed that he was that found out that that Nazians was most definitely a fairy because well one thing he didn't have that illness that humans would get from the fairy realm, and she picked on him when he was taking a shower alone or washing himself off alone. So yeah, kind of confirming all that. And Melcher again figured it out. It's similar to King in the End as they were testing where you just to be safe, King in the End's last conversation was probably like also checking. Wait, you are getting ill? Not you're not getting ill, huh? Yeah, we had an issue. Now again, I imagine the reason why they don't want to tell Nazis about them being his actual parents, especially since the changeling issue, kind of explain. It's not because again, Nazis I don't think would for a big fit. Like he's very thankful for his sister and the doctor for being his like adopted family. So yeah, I can totally see uh, those two not having much of a So I could totally see him not being very upset. Just kind of like, I guess it explains a lot. But anyways, as much as going through this, he also decided to release the changing, which I don't know, Melcher. I feel. I mean, I know this one meant to make Melcher look a bit more nicer because he was like Chion, where he had like a very douchey entrance where he was basically antagonistic to Nazians. So I guess this is supposed to kind of make him look nicer, but I feel like he was exaggerating when he said, "Alright, there was no incident, so I'm in a good mood, so I'm gonna free you." I feel like he should still take the guy. Maybe treat him more politely, but still take him to get punished because, again, if someone actually this, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but it's pretty confirmed that Moultrie and Nonsense were swapped as babies. So I feel like some reaction would matter. But anyways, when the fairy minds Moultrie to untie him so he can go, as he said, he and the baby start getting some kind of weird reaction to an illness acting up where they start like vomiting and losing consciousness on that as Mo's like panicking because wait, what's going on? Someone's attacking. Is he like stiffs up and he's like poison? As then we see I believe it was 5 cloak figures, one of which resembles that cloak figure we see in the beginning of the story. The guy who's reporting to the Chaos Knights about the Prophesied Knights. I think it just resembles because I think the guy's cloak is a bit different, and staff. I believe also the staff is different in what that character hat or that creature, whatever those things are, show up as they're like, "You're not reacting to it? I guess you must be human." As much as like, "Oh shit," they're being kind of serious because those guys would probably release that poison to kill the 2 fairies because they probably either spotted them or they got the news is about something and they saw him and they were he must also just be a very bulky fairy. I mean, I saw that. It's not like that unnatural to get like Mildred looking fairies. I mean, I believe the second or the first or one of the fairy kings also had like a very like big bulky design. So as far as they knew, Mildred was first like fairy, but now it's very clear that he's not a fairy who's tying his wings, but he is straight up human. Although I could see this like being a thing because before Meltre, I don't know if he took another pill this chapter, but he took the pill last chapter, so maybe he's got some. Oh no, it's just that pill I took. Although again, I don't really think Meltre is dumb enough to still believe that he is a human. Not that he's a fairy. He probably does, but no, he's a human through and through. So yeah, he's a bit of a trouble now. I mean, I don't. Maybe they're gonna ask him to join or something. Or maybe they're gonna use him against his will. So I'm like, we know the Chaos Knights, some Chaos Knights are definitely willing. Well, I don't know some, but we know that the forces of Chaos, that Camelot's forces, are not above punishing humans who friendly to fairies in some kind of weird thing. And this creature is clearly a spellcaster with that Stefano. So I would not be surprised if he could put some kind of hallucination to lead them all into the fairy realm to cause chaos, to force them to fight his siblings. And all that. I can totally see it. Maybe even like use the term the chaos creature or something. Like it's not that difficult. Like I usually see it be like, oh, even though this changeling swapped a human baby with another one, you would probably swapped as a baby from your human mother, and you still are some of them. All right, then you can be an actual fairy. And so they've used them into like that weird monster forms, and yeah. I could easily see like that happening. Like, I mean, I'm not entirely certain those cloak figures are just regular Chaos Knights disguising themselves so they will not get into trouble or something, or there are some other type of creatures, but regardless, Meltre is in trouble because I don't think he can defeat. I mean, Meltre is powerful and all, but I don't think he can defeat five on one where a magic caster that has a chaos staff with a few hours as well. So the fact that he's getting a baby and he wants the baby to survive, although I wouldn't put it past the baby dying, you probably have to like focus on escape. Like I easily see him like picking up. Like I can easily see the next chapter be him picking up the idiot, and then running away as far as away from them as possible. Probably like, all right, I need to get to the fairy realm. They're gonna get better there, and then that stupid Nauseans can get his fucking medical stuff, and he can heal them or something. And then I could see like them getting like, doing what Galand and Alaska were doing when Jericho was fleeing with Barn Lane type of deal. So yeah. Anyways, then we have Eden Zero, chapter 277, titled Fading Mother, Consequences of Mother Disappearing. So we first start the chapter off with the kind of universal reaction to what's going on with the mother disappearing and fading away. Is it's like one of those One Piece level of taking a long ass time for something to happen, even though it's supposed to be instant. Like a giant fist, but taking forever to appear kind of situation. So the same with mother, she's taking forever to disappear. As we unfortunately do not see how this looks for the rest of the universe, but we get like what the initial crew is. Like we have Ziggy and his reaction to the universe disappearing, as well as the others. Everyone's already on the ship. I don't know if this means they just kind of left all those characters dead or where they are. Again, I'm not entirely certain where the Dark Stars are gonna resolve this. Like, are they just gonna be forgotten? Are they just gonna be like in some extra? Is they just gonna be baggage from now on? But regardless, everyone's kind of on the ship though, and Shiki actually did have a plan. Like he didn't just set wish for Maud to disappear and be like, alright, it's over. We'll live in Pommy for the next couple of hours before we die. Basically, the plan was, alright, if I wish for Mother to disappear, all my friends are gonna be fine. Alright, that's good. I will confirm their safety. But now, I will need to confirm Mother's safety. And for that, he discovered, we'll use the chronophage to come in. We do Planet Eater Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, as we're gonna have Rebecca and everyone to contact a chronophage to go and swallow Mother so she'll be turned back into a planet. And after this, we'll stop the whole thing process from repeating again by going to this planet, and we are more advanced. We can help on that side. I mean, there might be some point that you can't truly help because humanity and everyone's nature itself will be always the most self-destructive nature or something like that. But again, like there is still some far more useful. Like it does not matter how. Again, like it's a technology thing. They don't even have the same advanced androids as they have in the current time period. So that's kind of the idea. Basically, all right, everyone's safety is confirmed. After that, we will confirm Mother's safety by having a chronophage swallow her up and turn her back to a planet, and then everything's gonna be relaxed, and we'll win. The only issue is, right now the only issue is Void. I mean, I think Ian's one is also still there, but I'm not certain if it's going to start attacking or causing chaos. It probably will, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But Shiki just contacts Ziggy As Ziki's like, "What did you do, Shiki? Did you actually wish for Mom to disappear?" As she says, "I have a plan. You just keep Void distracted, and so because if he figures out the plan, he will cause trouble." As Shiki's like, "Oh, I can do that," as he punches Void again. So we'll see on that resolution. Like, if Ziggy going to defeat Void? Is Void going to defeat Ziggy, and then he's gonna actually participate? Because so far the villains are kind of like this is kind of the end, the big final climax, and that very few of the villains are actually present. So I'm wondering where things are gonna be going here. But anyways, the plan after Mother is swallowed and fixed, then is when Shiki's like, I'm gonna destroy the chrono space, like keep that completely cut the this endless cycle by destroying the chrono phase, which is fine. Which doesn't matter how he's gonna do it, because I think if you get anything swallowed or crushed or anything, you are going to disappear and that type of stuff. So yeah, we'll see on that front. Although again, Shuki is pretty confident this plan will work because Mother wants that he gets the results, knows that she'll grant him the results that he desires, and this would be kind of results that he desires. And also, I'm kind of questioning how much we're gonna have. Like, there are a few weird things that do need to get wrapped up, like the two missing Orkaku Seals Galactica members being who knows where, how the resolution for the Dark Starts plot, and all that, but we'll have to wait and see on that thing. And Void and Zeke and how this whole thing is gonna resolve. So yeah, we have to wait and see. Also, I don't think we actually got like a announcing how many chapters are predicted to be last. And I feel like when it comes to like the final 10 or so chapters, you would probably start announcing those stuff. But who knows? Maybe I just missed something. So yeah. Anyways, after this we have to the final final three chapters, and the next one is One Piece, chapter 1108, titled Coming World. So, yeah, I think we can kind of guess where this chapter is going for, as well as the One Piece community fan base announcing anything. So, yeah, anyways, we start this off where we left it off, with Karabu um, begging the Blackbeard pirates to take him with them, as those two are a bit questioning, because this is a government island and he's like some weird rookie pirate there, which has no reason to be there. As Kawabu offers information that he will tell him gladly, and to a point that he even says, like, "Oh, if you don't, I have information so great that if Blackbeard doesn't, no, he will punish you too." Even though I'm just some random he doesn't even know of anymore. As they would get kind of remind what information Kawabu knows about Poseidon and Pluton. We'll get this stuff. I imagine this is not gonna be explained, revealed until the end of the arc, where we're gonna see, like, or maybe the crossing between. We're gonna have Blackbeard. Oh, so this is where Pluton and Poseidon are. Which one should we have? Let's just go get after both immediately. I imagine it's gonna be like one of those things. So we'll see on that front. Like, there isn't much. Anyways, then we cut back to Marines going through what they will do, and they're like, all right, so we are losing a lot of pacifists there, and they are very useful for us. Like, they are comparable to one battleship kind of deal, but on land. So, like, should we perhaps, instead of continuing the Buster call it off, so we could plan around that, or start focus on it until Bonnie is dealt with, because they know that Bonnie is the one that controls the Pacifista. So they are planning on using her. So they're planning on saving her, or killing. They plan on killing her, so they'll get the control back. Although I don't think that's how this works. I think you need someone of higher command. But I guess if one of higher command goes down, then I guess it's better. But regardless, they are playing there, and then we also get like all the names of the vice admirals who are there. Like, we get Toza, How, Guillotine, my favorite name. I think we also get I feel like I'm forgetting a few. I think there's another dog named there, and yeah, we have all the names. They're gonna go through the information. Tesla or something. He wants to go and kill them. He's about to kill. He's about to hit Atlas, Vegapunk, Bonnie, and all those. But giants show up and knock Tesla out. as they're like, "Oh, are you guys? None of you guys look like Straw Hats because none of them, even Frankie, are not known associates of Straw Hat because Frankie's potion is the Thousand Sun. Wait for a joke about John thinking the Thousand Sun is Frankie. As then they have. Like, oh no, we're all but Luffy and Sanji are fighting over there, so go help us there. As Dory and Boggy are like, oh, I will go there. You guys help this. Shahad's friends go to the ship, which we found next chapter that we are taking them to the New Java ship. As we get that solution fixed. And I'm assuming they're also gonna be used to fix this Sunny thing, or maybe lift me a plan for that. I don't really know. Pirates Day, we cut back to Sanji, Luffy, Sato's Kizo Vega situation as we see that that Sato, after that humiliation from the big Blackbeard pirates, he just went full Zoe, full transformation, full spider. It's unclear if this is a Delphi ability or something else. Like there's some fears there might be something else. Again, we have to wait and see. It's mostly. I mean, I don't know. I could easily see this be like one of those things where Oda just hasn't revealed the Dark Fruit's name yet, and that's why it's kind of ambiguous. But yeah, oh, maybe he's got revealed in a data book or something. As anyway, I think at the end of the AK, I could see like a data book about this stuff, and we've revealed the name of the Dark Fruit as well as what it does and all that. But we have to wait and see. But anyways, Sally's like a full spider form, as Sanji even comments about this transformation. That wow, it's like he's not even pretending not to be human anymore, which they also would not pretend to be human. That's a real reason why Sato was pissed off. Is pissed off right now, not because he was humiliated by pretty much every captain who attacked them, but the fact that Sanji is now going to compare him to being to pretending to be a human. That's the thing that really angers him. So yeah, Satan goes there with his leg, goes there to strike at them in his spider form, and now the poison that he was increasing from his spider body is now even more attack, more bigger and more ferocious without just being in touch with any limb who's gonna cause it. So they go for a clash. Luffy is ready to go in fighting Saturn as Sanji tries to get away from the situation by carrying Vegapunk, but Kizo shows up, knocks Vegapunk out of Sanji's hands, and then delivers what is to be believed a fatal wound. As then Kizo, as then it's kind of over for Vegapunk, but then Luffy just says, "Stop with this nonsense." He grabs Kizo, which I think uses a bit of advanced conquest hockey, as he kind of, Kizo will spill blood, and then grabs Sato by the face, which doesn't seem to hurt Luffy at all. Not sure if that means that it's just on the legs or something. And he's like, getting ready to fight too, and we'll get into the fight next chapter. As then Sanji gets Vegapunk back in his arms. And it's like, oh, my apologies, Vegapunk. He sees the Vegapunk's like not really responding much, like, oh no, oh wait, don't let me do that or something. As then we cut for the final page of the chapter into like our secret laboratory with Vegapunk, as we have him, as we get like that recipient, that device that doctors use to like monitor heartbeats, as we have that flatlining, as then we have saying, come 1 2 1 2, testing 1 2 1 2, testing, as he then Vegapunk introduces himself, as then tells them, I'm going to reveal the secrets of the world. Again, next chapter is just gonna be a bunch of reactions and commentary. Not even what the Vegapunk is saying. It's just gonna be a bunch of that stuff as Vegapunk then as we wait until a break to finally get some stuff. Hopefully after the break we're gonna get some stuff, but I will not be surprised with how One Piece is if we get like we don't get anything in the next chapter, then we don't get anything in the chapter after that, then we just before the next break there's gonna be a chapter that's actually gonna start dropping things, but it's gonna be something super vague and we barely understand, and then it's gonna be a break, and then we have to wait after the break to get why it's such a big deal. I would not be surprised if that's gonna be the thing, because that's how Oda kind of writes these types of scenes, which is fine, but it's kind of annoying. give us some deeds, especially since, I'll be honest, the voice entry in the world is kind of like one of those things like question how much of an effect it will be, especially how big of a deal it is. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for the chapter. Then we go to the penultimate, and that's versus chapter 13, the massive existence. So, yeah, I think we can all assume what natural anime is showing up this chapter. Comment below what you think. But anyways, we start off with a escape plan explanation. As we find out, there's this grand teleportation magic circle, which is a thing we can pretty much teleport everyone to safety. The issue is that it's like not only does it take a lot more magic than normal transportation circles, something that only the captains of the spellcaster groups are actually able to perform, and it requires a lot of mana and all that to use it in the first place. But it's also that it's not certain where they are, like where are they supposed to go, type of deal. Because I mean, as far as they can know, if they do not know the exact location and coordinates, they could end up being in a some not for some I don't know, some kind of uh, on the sky somewhere and then fall to their death or stuff like that. So yeah. As then we get some information the characters are knowing about locations because they ask, oh, does anyone know of a location in this new merged world where we can go, where we would survive, be able to, survive and not just fall and plummet to our death or fall into the ocean or enter non-natural enemy of the deal. As then characters go and they say, nope, there's too much giants in the location we are going. No, there is too much of that planned for us to not be immediately take control and taken over. As then another guy from the lawless world says, the humans, there is a church, but the humans in our world are so corrupt and things that. As they're like, oh shit, there's no place we can go. As in, Zai's like, wait, old man, what did you exactly. I think the old man name's Gyo. He's like, wait, old man, what exactly did you say? As he kind of explains to them in more detail about the church and their being the lawless humans and kind of this and what they do if they capture you, they're gonna turn you into slaves, which exists in worse than death. As Zaidi and that Cosmo Universe guy look at the chaos going wrong with the aliens and demons, like, well, this is far better. That is far better than this. So get to it. As the old man, like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. As then we have the guy who's in charge of this whole thing, operation, the military guy, be like, thank you for this information. Okay, now show us where we have to go. As the old man does this. As then we have the characters getting ready for this, as well as the fact that for this operation, as there are some members of the humans who are like, oh, imagine, we have to deal with these aliens, these creatures, these insanely powerful creatures, while our universe just have those lawless humans, as his wife, partner, whatever she is, the big MILF cosmic girl, is like, don't put your guard down. As the a guy, the old man's like, oh, you're not you are severely underestimating them, which makes me think this might be like one of those things where in their universe their descriptions may not apply the same. Alright, this is just my fear right now, but I think when old man says they are corrupt and they are turning into slaves, this may not be exactly what they do. There's more levels to it. It's like one of those things where it's a correct description of it, but it's actually not entirely accurate to say like they are corrupt, but not like, oh, we want all the gold, we are greedy. No, it's like they turn into monsters, like 8 feet tall gorillas with spikes coming out of them. Like they not corrupted in the normal sense. And when they say turn you into a slave, it's more like something that guy from Hunter x Hunter in that Royal Tournament Sea Arc, who threatened to like one of his assistants for because she lied to him with you'll be turned to something that's not human. So I do kind of wonder if that's kind of the situation here. But anyway, that's the next arc to worry about. As then we have another a member we have a member of the toxic world or poisonous world. Blast, the one who was last chapter commenting about even the humans from the other universe cannot resist the poisons and all those things from our world. Hmm. Again, being suspicious. Oh, fuck that bastard. As he goes outside, like just kind of opens the door a bit, as he's like, kind of like in reverence over watching aliens and demons clash, like you beings of life clashing against one another. What a beautiful sight! Because in this world, their world seems to like to be like a thing where it's less about you there being opponents you have to beat, and more like areas where you have to survive the toxic waste, the disease. Like that's what makes them more dying. Like in their universe, there's no one to fight or punch, but it's like we can't breathe. Your body's kind of getting destroyed and all that type of stuff because of ass poisons and that type of stuff. So that's why he's kind of rebels. I'm guessing he's gonna be like kind of a Mayuri type of character, in all honesty. But regardless, Pani, the little sidekick for Hollow, shows up to inform him as aliens are about to beat the demons. Like they are pretty much being like one of them is beating a power up form of the demons with their magic, and also something I forgot to mention is like the characters from the Yggdrasil world, the one with the giant plant, reveal that they managed to obtain some of the sap or some of the nutrients from their tree to like give them like a power up. As I takes this and this gives them like a huge power up, and it's like there's a big skill increase, but they also warn them they only have one, so do not waste it. As he has that, but then like the demons or the aliens or one of them send like a big attack, and then that would wipe them out immediately. So Zai like respond, Factus puts up a barrier that protects them all and doesn't have to get any kind of damage. But unfortunately, that runs out of his mana as well, so they're kind of stuck there without any mana. They can't recharge him again because the guy warned them, do not use it again. Do not. We have only one, so they're kind of an issue. I imagine they're probably gonna be getting them more for the series, but right now they have zero. They have one that was very effective, but now they have none. So they're kind of stuck now in this situation. And demons are also just about to defeat it. They can't really give them enough not to defeat one, and the other ones are. As then we have the mandrakes again sentimenting, we are more powerful, we are better, we are stronger. You are wasting our time. If you're not gonna review what's happening, then we'll just finish you garbages off right now. As they reveal their giant ass spaceship, which is so massive and powerful that even the Kiwi says that I think we just met opponents that maybe, just maybe could defeat the demon army or the great demon king. Like he's not saying it for certain yet, because remember, despite Magic soundly defeating these four generals, the demon army has more. There are the 47 demon kings who are way stronger, who are more directly compared to Magic. Like those are the more that fights that would be interesting 1v1. And this is a great demon king, so you have to kind of question how the fights are gonna go situation here. And yeah, he's kind of reacting to this, which makes me kind of wonder where his character is gonna go, because like he saw threats that can defeat them. Now he's feeling what humans are feeling when they are go up against demons kind of situation. So it does make me kind of wonder where Kiwi is gonna go, especially if maybe because the humans are out of mana, they maybe he might return the mana to them or something, so they could get all of them out there, so they could, survive and, inform Yachi because of this situation. Because this is something that everyone should at least be aware and getting ready for. But as the spaceship that the managers were about to fire is getting ready, we get this like very cool panel of them all looking confidently like, yeah, you're going down. But then you have like one of those kaijus that we've seen and mentioned a few times. Like I think it's the same. It might even be the same one that we saw in the second chapter. Just immediately destroying that thing. It was like that giant thing was there, but then kaiju just came here and like ripped it like it was nothing. As then we have all of them kind of just looking at that thing. Like we have the demons being shocked, we have the humans being shocked, we have the mandrakes I mean, their expressions are kind of difficult to read tell, but they're like, what the hell just happened? As that thing just rips it in half. And there also might be that plant thing on that kaiju because we see like a little plant on top of it, but we gotta have it be revealed next time. I'm assuming. So yeah, now the kaiju appears, and we're gonna have the kaiju versus the mandrakes, which I'm going to assume is gonna be like one of those things where the mandrakes also like everything they do against it, they can't do anything. I imagine the kaiju also will not be able to like damage them well enough because the massive size and they don't seem to be like those beings that can be easily like hit and damaged like the deal. But it's like you can't do anything and he cannot do anything not because he's not strong enough not to do anything, but because you guys are such tiny flies. You are flies. That's the reason why the kaiju can't do anything. It's like in comparison, if the humans and the demons are all just a bunch of garbage, you guys are the flies buzzing around, well, not buzzing around, but flying around this garbage, while the Kaiser is just annoyed to say annoying as he's passing by. So yeah, this is kind of an issue. So I'm assuming Mandras are gonna be distracted by the kaiju as the rest are gonna attempt to leave or something. I mean, if the demons and humans are gonna work together this one time to escape, I will not hate it. Also, I'm kind of like and find interesting if Kiwi does stay with the humans and keeps them like kind of safe, especially if the lawless world is more than what the humans are giving it credit to be. So yeah. Anyways, now with that out of the way, we get to the final chapter to discuss this week with Chainsaw Man chapter 156, titled Wop 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 Bzz Split Split. I think we all know what's going to happen in this chapter. That's right, Naruto and Ranji are going to have a family pizza. It's at night. Yep, very much. Definitely. That's what's going to happen in this chapter. The buzz is the TV glitching because it's a storm outside, which is also the reason why they're inside right now having a pizza because they cannot play outside with their family, their dogs. But alright, it's not that thing. Anyways, we start this chapter in a hospital with Danji waking up as we last left off. As Danji's like, "Where Naruto, where are you?" As we get that public safety commission guy, the one we've seen in the one we will see the guy who was for this main face of public safety commission in the part 2, as he tells Denji, I thought I told you first you slept for a week, and also to report him about turning to a chainsaw man. As Denji is a bit like, where's Naruto? Where's Naruto? I said that he's more focused on her because again, like they split last time he remembers, even if it was a week ago, and she was surrounded by everyone, and there was all this panic and all that. So he's like, where is she? As he just tells her, I don't know. And yeah, then this guy also informs Danji that I dumbed it down so hard for you, so even an idiot like you should understand. But you didn't listen. I told you, do not transform into Chainsaw Man, or there will be consequences. And now we have consequences, meaning that now you're going to have to deal with this. I'm sorry, but there's nothing more I can do. As Danji is like trying to get out of the bed, but he cannot because okay, the guy says that's because he was kept because he was asleep for a week, but it's actually because he was sedating him and making him unable. As this is like very sad because Danji just wants to be a Naruto. He's like even asking Puchita to help, but Puchita can't do anything. So yeah. Anyways, we find out that the Public Safety Commission now is gonna be planning to dismantle Danji like they did with the same way how the Gum Devil is. I believe the Gum Devil is still dismantled actually. So that now Danji's gonna be the Chainsaw Man is now gonna be a member of the state, and we also find that girl, that fan that we had that abandoned Naruto in a couple of chapters ago. Like, oh, so I guess this is the last time I could get my hair and nails, well, my fingers on Danji's hair and nails because she's a fan. As the guy even was like, I thought you were a fan of Chainsaw Man. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a fan and I'm a collector. So she wants to take the final couple things, which okay, the public safety commission is basically just digging their own graves. Like they're just having shovels and start digging them at this point because one thing, it's not Danji's fault. Like, it's not his fault. Like, he was 100% cooperating the whole time. The problem came to the fact that they screwed up. Like, a lot of this screw up could be up to them. The hybrids being capped, the hybrids escaping, their screw up. The fact that a bunch of people made contracts with the Fire Devil unintentionally, maybe it's not their screw up, but Danji could not have done anything about this. The only reason why Danji turned into Chainsaw Man, which at this point I don't even think anyone's going to actually try to be a politician or any political threats that they first thought that Chainsaw Man was gonna bring. Like how everyone who was, would actually consider rooting for Chainsaw Man or whatever the threat was, or whoever was like speaking the gospel news of the great Chainsaw Man is either that, zombified chainsaw in some prison or who knows where. Like I don't think anyone's actually going to like use Chainsaw Man as a political slogan, especially considering the fact that there'll be a threat now. So I don't really see why. Like everything's kind of destroyed. At this point, I feel like you could probably just say, "Look, you have to keep a bit more of the dolo now with the Chainsaw Man. You can use it more freely because the danger is no longer there, but you are still kind of like chaos and trouble now. So but no, there's like dismantle limbs by limbs. Like we even get to see the arm getting dismantled and being put in the back, and the doctors are even not like mentioning, I'm kind of sad that we have to dismantle here. Now they're like, hey, can you stop smoking this? This is an operating room. We would rather not have to worry about that. You guys dismantle the guy. I don't think it's gonna matter if you dismantle him a bit unevenly. But yeah. Anyways, then we also get a bit of a explanation of this Tokyo Devil Detention Center about how good of a defense it is, and how this guy's there in case if Denji does anything so he can kill him, which good luck with that, you asshole. Unless if you are some kind of devil high, but you're not gonna do jack. But guys, we I believe did see mention it, but this time it's from a different room, and this time it's more of a danger, like more of a threat here. As we have this guy also ending up saying that's gonna take, building good defense out, as it would take a war to get out of here. As we see a girl standing in front of it, and it's end of the chapter, and we have a question who it is. So we are saying that it's Asa because the war she possesses the war. Well, the war devil is the devil she's contracted to. So he also threw out Reza because the shoes, well, the stocking, the design matches of the shoes and everything matches Asa Reza more because she's the only one we haven't got any update on amongst all other hybrids, and the stockings and the shoes fit that design. Personally, they also threw out Naruto, but that one looks a bit, he's a child, so you could probably have a hard time seeing it. Personally, I feel like it could just be both. I mean, war and bombs kind of work hand in hand if you ask me. So I would not be surprised this is like hinting at both of them. Like you have Reza's design, I mean that she's there, but war is us. I mean the two are now partners in crime and gonna break Denji out. Maybe gonna make nuclear weapons devil babies. I don't know. I'm still saying this was going to happen. So we'll see on that front who it is, but it's probably both if you ask me. Or maybe also just gonna redesign. Like I know she's gonna go back to living as a high school girl now with all the, everything that happened. So we'll see. Is it just a redesigned Asa? Did Hijimoto just forget how Asa's outfit works, or how long some bullshits are? Is it Reza finally back? Is it both of them just there with both of them being hit at in separate ways? We have to wait until next chapter, and I think that should be next week. But anyways, I hope you like this chapter. I hope you leave a like. Tell me in the comments below what did you think of all these chapters this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.